B. There it goes. Okay, let's see, got it there.
It's live. It's got like.
There it is.
It's got like.
Okay, so got that. Go live. Yay, we're on. We're good. Hey everybody. All right, so it's been a while. I took some time off, of course, because of everything that was going on, and even I'm glad I did because I didn't think it was going to take like 4 days, 3 or 4 days to figure out what the hell was going on with the election. So I'm glad I did because that would have like messed with my all of my energy. I only have so much energy for each time I do this, and I totally there was just too much going on in my head. So for those of you who are in Houston, please, 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 I'm going to say this, please take the virus seriously. Please wear a mask. Please wash your hands. Please stay socially distanced because it is going back up. The numbers are going back up. What's interesting about everything that's happening with the virus and all of that is that Sandra Morgan, you were right. I found my father. You were right. Oh, okay. So Sandra, go ahead and ask and I'm curious. I want to know. I don't know when I told you what I told you, but I'm curious what the background is on that because that's interesting. I'm reading this, Sandra. I'm reading it. But going back to the mask thing, please wear a mask. I don't give a damn whether y'all buy into it or not, whether you think it's a conspiracy, whether you think it's 5G or 4G, whether you think it's, maybe someone has, they're running low on toilet paper. I don't care what the issues are, y'all, that you may have personally. But common sense is common sense, y'all. Common sense, which means if it is common sense to wear a mask because it has been shown by science to help to prevent the spread of this virus, please follow common sense. Your opinions, your ideas don't matter. Lives matter, and lives are more important than your opinions. Pretty clear, right? Pretty clear. I don't care what you think, what you say, because there's a hell of a lot more people who actually spent their lives getting the education necessary to understand things from this perspective. And for those of you who say, well, there's a doctor saying this and there's a doctor, those doctors are idiots because there's a lot more of the professionals that take their job seriously and trying to prevent deaths than there are these fools saying this and that because they have whatever reason to say it. So I'm just saying, right? So please take it seriously just because I really, really, really do not want to have another huge increase in Houston, which it's going to happen. It's already happening. Earlier this year, when I had drawn my chart and I posted the chart, etc., my chart only went up to a certain point. I actually only made the chart so that it went up to August or around the August timeframe, and then I kind of dropped it off there, which is actually, if you look at the beginning of that period, it actually mimics that chart exactly. But I kind of didn't draw anything past that because I didn't think that there was going to be another large coronavirus wave. And what's interesting, I've been telling people, I said, no, I think there's going to be some lockdowns at the end of the year. I don't think it's going to be corona. I think it's going to be like a flu because I keep feeling like people are going to, think that something like people are going to be. So what I've been telling people in readings, and you can ask around for those of you who had a reading with me during the last few months, this is what I've said, right? That I felt there would be another period of shutdowns at the end of the year. People were going to flip out and freak out because they were going to think that there was going to be another wave of COVID. I didn't believe at the time that it was going to be another wave of COVID. I didn't see COVID being gone. I still felt like COVID or the virus was still going to be around, but I felt that there was going to be another series of lockdowns and people were going to freak out because they thought it was going to be COVID again, and there was going to be a lot of shutdowns. That's what I said about the end of the year. But I thought it was going to be flu because I didn't see the mortality rate going up as high as I saw hospitalizations. I saw people getting sick. I still saw people getting some sort of weird flu. And I even said it might be a really weird strain of the flu because it feels like it's pretty aggressive. And I kept feeling it was going to be an aggressive flu, but I didn't think it was going to be COVID again. I still saw COVID in the picture, I didn't think it was going to be COVID again. Lo and behold, here we are. We're seeing numbers go up again. So, and I heard just this week alone, I heard, so many people, a good friend of mine got the virus, so they have it. Luckily, they have mild symptoms, but they had to go to the doctor and they had to get vitamin D, and also steroid shots, I guess, because of the respiratory system. And then I heard from my cousin that a childhood neighbor that lived on our block from childhood, that they died. They passed away from the virus. And then my partner's sister she now has the virus, we believe, and she's freaking out right now, which I completely understand. So we are like I'm trying to keep myself busy today because I don't even want to think about what could possibly happen. But I'm hoping and praying that she will be fine. I expect her to be fine, so I'm not even going to think about what the possibility of that is. So I love her, and I was just checking on her a few minutes ago before I got on here. So there's her, and then another friend's uncle is in. He's in the ICU. He's in induced coma, and he's on life support. So it's still an issue, y'all. So y'all need to take it seriously. I don't know how many times we can say this. So I also just released a list of predictions for the next 5 years. There's a lot more stuff that's going to happen, but I had to sit there and think. So I had to sit there and type it all out. It took me 2 or 3 hours for all the different things that I was seeing. And I still don't feel like I've gotten it all out because there's so many things that I've seen. Some of the stuff in my predictions list, I already mentioned earlier this year. And then now we're actually having reports and stuff of some of that stuff starting to happen, which I'll update those as they are known. And I'm actually going to have a running list on my site because I want people to see what I predicted. And I want you to see whether I was right or I was wrong. And if I was wrong, it's going to say prediction wrong. I got it wrong. I'm not going to just promote the positive predictions because I make predictions all the time. I make predictions in people's lives. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. I'm right a lot more than I'm wrong. And so that should show right in the evidence. But it's going to be a running prediction thing on my site. And whatever I get right, I'll get right. Whatever I get wrong, I get wrong. And it is what it is. But that'll be on my website as well. So y'all can check it out. It's on medium.com. There's also a link to it I think you can get there from my website. And you can see all the predictions that I made. I'm also going to do a podcast episode of it of some of the highlighted predictions as well. And I'm going to put that out probably before the week is over, just because some of the stuff has also to do with what's going on right now with the politics as well. So that's all going to come up. I'm so sick of y'all. I am so sick of politics. I'm ready to move forward, move on, and get back to where politics isn't everybody's problem. I want to go back to when we used to complain about first world problem, first world problem. Remember first world problem? Yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to jump through here. So Sandra, I don't remember. Sandra's trying to give me the details. I don't remember the details because I don't remember readings after I've given them many times. So you might have to break it down into data points so I can follow along with you. But I'm happy that my prediction or my suggestion to you helped you to find your dad, because it looks like you found your father. So, all right, let's go through here. I'm not going in any particular order. I'm going to go through text message ones first, and then I'll try to bring some of you on. If you want to come on, you can come on in video form, but it has to be on Instagram because I don't have an option to do it through Facebook or YouTube. So if you want, there's a little couple of people down there at the bottom. If you click that, that'll give you a chance to request to be a guest. I do have some things I'm supposed to say, right? Because my people had me wanting to go through social media scripts. It's called the script, right? Okay. So my statements are personal opinions, not proven facts. Whatever decisions or actions you make in your life, you are 100% responsible and liable for. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. I always tell people that. I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. You can still ask me those kinds of questions, but for legal medical advice or treatment, please consult a licensed professional. If you receive guidance or information that you can validate, like Sandra on Facebook, I think it's on Facebook, please share your story in the follow-up post so others can learn from your experience. And so there'll be a post on my Facebook, post on YouTube. I think there will be one on YouTube, and then there may be one on Instagram. And it's a picture of some animal or some sign that you might get from Spirit. Post in there your story so that you can share what you were able to connect with or what you were able to validate. If you appreciate these lives, then please give me a thumbs up. So click the thumbs up button. And then also give me a heart if you are on Instagram, if you appreciate the lives. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can please share this with someone that might need to have a reading or may need to get a question answered as well. If you don't want to wait for the lives to get your question answered and you get impatient, you can just go to my website and you can book a session with me there. I have pricing options for everybody's budget. So it's all there in case you want to go look at that. And also make sure you're signed up to my newsletter, because I do put out a newsletter weekly that has everything that I've done that week, as far as like all of the places and things that I've done, things that I posted, videos, etc. So that way you don't have to go looking in all of my social media feeds. Okay, now I've got that out of the way. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, you might get hit by a troll. So be prepared, because there may be some people that show up in the feed that may start bugging you, asking you to private message them so that they can give you a reading. And they usually have crazy sounding names. If they don't have a crazy sounding name, they may even use the name Fernando. It's not me. I'm right here talking to you. I'm not here typing away. So if you get a message from someone, don't message me about it, because I already know all about it. That's why I say this at the beginning of every session. If you message me, you probably didn't even see this part. So that's all that's said. All right, let's get going here, because I don't want to waste too much time, because we've got the study group after this as well. And it's been over a week since I've done one of these. So I'm out of practice, y'all. So please bear with me, okay? Okay, let's see. Jerry MC, currently pregnant. When will I give birth? Congratulations. I feel like it's going to be, it's interesting, because I feel like, okay, so here's a couple things. One is, I am seeing April, May-ish of next year. So I want to say maybe April or May of next year, 2021, because I'm seeing baby energy around that time. But I'm also seeing baby energy around January. So if you start having weird like cramping, or if you start having weird like, stuff come up in January, just go to the doctor, follow up with the doctor, because it may just be you going and feeling worried or just stressed, and then you have to go to the doctor. So it might just be that I'm picking up on with the baby energy stuff in January. But I'm also seeing like April, May. So I think that around that time is when you might be seeing a birth. Now, if you're due in January, then what I'm seeing in April or May also be an additional pregnancy. So you need to be prepared in case that's what ends up being the situation. Okay. Thank you. Love it. I haven't even cut my hair, but thank you. I've just not cut it because I haven't had time. Thank you. My skin looks amazing. I just got back from being outdoors. So it was cold and I was all bundled up with my mask and everything. So thank you. I look fresh. I look fresh. I feel like I've lost like 15, 20 pounds in the last few days. So, just wave. Now I'm waving at people. Sorry, Aliana. I know I just waved at you. She's like, "Oh my God, he's already waving at me." That was an accident, girl. That was an accident. It's my friend Freddie Purr. Okay, Gerard 78702, and that is an intense picture, Nino. That is an intense picture. Okay, so question. Hi, where do you see things going with my current girlfriend? So with your current girlfriend, I feel like keep working on things. Keep working on things, because I feel like the next 4 or 5 months may be a make or break period for the relationship, which means that if you can strengthen and continue to advance the bond of the relationship, then at the end of the 4 or 5 month period, you might be able to take the relationship to the next level. However, it could also mean that the next 4 or 5 months are going to be a lot of craziness, and that you might actually find yourselves breaking up at the 4 or 5 month period. Because I feel like there's a change of 4 or 5 months. As of right now, I'm leaning towards things can get worked through, and you can continue past that 4 or 5 month period. But the next 4 or 5 months are really going to matter. It's Jennifer. I was wondering if you had messages from my sister. Yes. So the first thing she's doing, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this, I almost feel like she's doing this. Like, it's weird, because I feel like I'm making a sign or a gesture. It's weird, because I thought I was going to make the peace sign, but then she's doing this. So I don't know what the symbol is or what this would mean, or if it's a joke, but there's something here that she's trying to show me. So there's a reference there. She also keeps thinking, there's a dog that's got the face like pushed in. What is it? It's like a Pekingese. I think it's a Pekingese. There might be is it a Pekingese or is it the other one? I think it's Pekingese. It's a dog that's got the face smushed in. So there's a dog that she's making reference to, or she's acknowledging. Either y'all just have a dog that she's trying to let y'all know that she messes with the dog, or there's a dog there in spirit with her, because she's trying to acknowledge this dog with a face that's got like a smushed face put in. She also keeps, thank you. She's also talking about the black hat picture. So I don't know if there's a picture of her where she's wearing like a black top hat, or they're like, sometimes people, they get together and they get in a booth and they pretend to be like the old fashioned dress or like the Renaissance festival. That's what it reminds me of. But I feel like I've seen like a top hat or a black hat or something like that, because there's a reference there as well. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She also keeps acknowledging the month of January. So January might be significant for a date of significance, or birth date, death date, but January might be significant. She also keeps referencing, thank you. She says she's proud of you. It's interesting because she's talking about a best friend. If you're the best friend, then that's what she's referencing, is referencing you as a best friend, but she's acknowledging best friend. She's also, I feel like I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Like I feel like I want to dance. That's what she's making me feel. So there might be a feeling of dancing or wanting to like dance and like get down, because she's making me feel that way as well. There may also be the funny big lips picture, or dancing and big lips. So there may be a joke about that as well. Okay. Misol26. Hi, Ferny. Can you tell me where my son put my daughter's Nintendo game, please? Yeah, I feel like it's in the laundry clothes, or under a basket of clothes. Like, because I feel like I want to go to the closet, open it up, look in the clothes, and then it's like right there. So I feel like there's something like that. So I would look where there's a pile of clothes or a bunch of clothes for the laundry. Okay. Eliana Noel Rodriguez, will I graduate on time? Yes, I feel like you will graduate on time. Knickknack79, hi Ferny, does my mother-in-law Donna have a message for us? Yeah, it's funny because I hear that, oh Donna, whoa, Donna. The song with Richie Valens, I keep thinking of that. So I don't know if there was a joke about that with her, or that's just, me. So as far as like your mother-in-law, right? Yeah, your mother-in-law. It's funny because she's showing me two other mother figures. So there's two other females that may be in spirit with her that are mother figures as well. So this would be like, like her sister, or your mom's sister, or like another, it's almost, or like a stepmother-in-law. There's like several. So there's three though. She's acknowledging three of them total, but she's acknowledging two of them with her. So there's two other mother style figures. I don't feel like they're grandmamas unless you were raised by your grandmother, but I don't feel like it's on that level. I feel like it's right on her level because she's making me reference that. She also keeps talking about the 6th or 16th of a month being significant. If it's 6, it might just be June, but if it's the 16th, it's just the 16th of any month. But there's a reference there as well. She also keeps, thank you, she also keeps referencing the H name. So I don't know, her son's the H, or she's referencing the male H, because it feels like it's a male H that she's trying to bring up or trying to acknowledge. She also, Poppy, because she's acknowledging that. She also keeps referencing, thank you, she's doing this. So she's almost showing me prayer hands. I don't know if you have a picture of like the prayer hands, or there's something about the image of the prayer hands that is significant for her, but she's making reference to this. She's also showing me her memorial. So I don't know if on her memorial thing, there's something to do with like the prayer hands, or there's something about the hands, but she's referencing special hands. So there's acknowledgement there as well. She doesn't feel like she's thank you, she's not in any pain. She also says, thank you, she's doing this, which means she may not have disclosed everything, or may not have always complained or shared what was going on fully, or what she was experiencing, but she says she's okay now and she's happy. So I think she's wanting y'all to know that, okay? Fanny Rod 84. Hi Ferny, do you see my dad and mom getting better in health? I do. Well, yes and no. So I think that your mom's health will actually improve more consistently, or may stay more balanced. It may take about a month and a half before she sees an improvement in her health. Your dad may zigzag around, because I feel like your dad's going to zigzag, and he might go through 3 periods where his health is going to take a hit. Something that he was able to do before, he may not be able to do anymore just because of his condition. So I feel like it'll be 3 periods. So over the next year or two, you might see 3 significant periods where your dad's health is going to be a lot more concerning to y'all than your mother's. I feel like your mom's may stay more or less consistent in the next 2 or 3 months. After a month and a half, but like 2 or 3 months, it'll continue to improve. Let's go over here to Facebook because people are like, hey, don't you forget about us on YouTube. Sherry Fox. Hi, Ferny. Is there any message from my husband? He passed 5 months ago. I miss him terribly. Yes. So he's calling you his soulmate. It's funny which is funny because I don't really buy into the whole soulmate thing, but he's referencing to it. So he wants to acknowledge that. He also keeps acknowledging the names in the heart. So I don't know if there's like a heart type of like, this might have a double meaning because I feel like I'm looking at a heart and I don't know if it's like a physical like heart thing that's got a name or inscription on it, or there's something special about a donation that's made and then a heart and inscription. There's something there because he's making reference to. I also think when I think of hearts, I always think of heart attacks. So I don't know if that's also connected to him, but he's referencing this for some reason. So he's acknowledging that. He also keeps referencing the 7th. So the 7th of a month is significant, either the month of July or the 7th of a month. He also keeps talking about the 2 younger ones. So I don't know if y'all have 2 children together or if y'all have 2 animals together, but he's referencing the 2 younger. So there's a reference there and he's acknowledging that. He also keeps, thank you. He's also referencing a speedboat contest or a speedboat race or the time about the speedboat thing. So I don't know if y'all had a speedboat or if he has a memory or there was a dream of wanting to like ride in a speedboat, but he's showing me that for some reason. So he's acknowledging that as well. He's also showing me a dog that looks like a puppet. What I mean by that is, you know, when you think of like the puppets, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, like the puppets, and then, but I feel like I'm looking at a puppet, but then I'm seeing a dog. So I don't know if there's some sort of a message with that or there's a significance there. He also keeps referencing, thank you, there might be like a bracelet or a watch that is also connected. He also talks about wearing his jacket. So if you've been wearing his jacket or putting his jacket on while you've been like wearing the jacket while you're cooking or making something, he's just acknowledging that as well. He is letting you know that he loves you and that he is also with you. And he says, even though he knows you miss him, he says he is still very much with you. And he's been just kind of visiting with you, especially in the evenings when it gets quieter and you feel more of that loneliness. He's acknowledging that he comes around specifically at that time to just sit with you. Okay. Amy Marie Graham. Hi, Ferny. Does my Mima or Papa have any messages for me? They've been heavy on my heart lately. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny because your Papa, he keeps wanting to show me his fingers. So I don't know if he had difficulty with his fingers or there was actually a missing finger, but he's like wanting to show me his hands or his fingers and like, fine. So he's acknowledging that. He drops coins. So you'll find some coins around that might be significant or connected to him, letting you know he's around you. Birds are for both of them. So they both use birds as well. Your mama, she is, I can smell food. So I don't know if she was a big cook or she was very well known for her cook, but I can smell food. I also feel like I'm smelling like I don't know, this is like a pancake or like a slapjack. I want to call it a slapjack. That's an old word for it. I don't know if it's pancakes or slapjacks or something about like I'm slapping something, but there's a reference there because she's acknowledging that. She also keeps talking about the words over the entrance of the house or something about words over the doorway. So I don't know if she had or they had something over the doorway that was like words that are significant or meaningful, or there's something that you have that you've done that you think of whenever you see that. But there's a reference there as well. They are also acknowledging the month of July. I'm actually seeing the 4th of July. So either the 4th or the month of July or 7th might be significant because that usually is what that means. I also feel, God, I can taste fried okra. I don't know if they liked okra is not something that everybody likes, but I miss it. Fried okra. So I don't know if your grandma was big on fried okra or there's something about trying to fry okra or fried okra. So there's a reference there as well. There's also a darker colored dog or a darker colored. It either is it's a big dog actually. It might be like a German Shepherd, but it might be a mix, but it feels darker. So there's a dog that's also connected or that might be there as well. Okay. Or if you have a dog, they were just letting you know that they're messing with your dog. Vionet Rivera, hi Ferny, hope all is well. Is my dad coming through? Yes. First of all, immediately as soon as I tune into dad's energy, I feel like he wants to apologize. So for me, he is acknowledging an apology, or he wants to apologize. I feel like he's apologizing for a couple of things. One is, I think he wants to apologize because he either didn't do everything he was supposed to do to prevent his passing or to improve his health, or he is just blaming himself for the conditions of his passing because he's acknowledging that. But he also is acknowledging not having enough time left, or not having enough time when you were younger. But there's a reference to that. Now, if he was just a really busy dad, or he was just off and about doing, work stuff, that would make sense. But it could also be that there was y'all didn't get as much time together when you were younger. But he's referencing or acknowledging that. Bill, thank you. He's referencing the name Bill, or Bill, of course, is Bill is William, right? Yeah. So Bill. So there might be a connection to the name Bill or Billy or William, but there's a reference there as well. He also keeps talking about, thank you. He also keeps referencing it's funny. I don't It's what I'm thinking of Frank Sinatra. It's either the name Frank is significant or Frank Sinatra music is important. Don't know, because I saw Frank Sinatra in my head and I was trying to figure out what is that connected to. So it might just be the name Frank or just music that's connected to that. He also keeps referencing a guitar or some sort of instrument, but it feels like it's a small one, like it'd be a child's size, or it would be a smaller version, but there might be a connection to that as well. But he is around you, sweetheart, okay? And he also tried to wake you up when you were sleeping. Kristen Mary, God, I'm so sick of politics, and yet we're still we're still having to deal with this bullshit. Kristen Mary's like, oh my God, Fernie, all I keep thinking is, what are you thinking about the election outcome? Would Trump win in the court? No, he's not going to win in the court. I actually think it might be embarrassing because he might try to pitch it to the Supreme Court, and they may actually just say no, which is funny because he positioned several of them, so that may be an interesting outcome. And I know some of you are Trumpers, so I'm not even going to go after any of that, because that has nothing to do with what I care about. I just care about getting everything back to a place of civility between people, and that's what my focus is, okay? So yeah, I don't think that. I actually, like I said, I talked about this in my predictions list. I also posted on social media about a dream I had last year, in March of 2019, that talks about something happening around the election at the end of the year, assuming that Trump was losing the election, because that's what I thought in my dream, or that's what the dream was about. But check it out, because I go into detail about it. I even wrote an article about it as well. But I don't think it's going to be, I don't think we're done with all the craziness. And even though it's been actually really calm and smooth right now, I'm not buying that. I feel like shit's about to hit the fan in the next month or two. So I'm still expecting craziness. I would be shocked if everything is smooth. I'm actually hoping that I'm wrong, and I'm wishing that I'm completely, seeing this incorrectly, or that the dream was wrong that I had. And whenever I have those dreams, I always trust them, because I believe they come directly from source or from God, and that there's stuff that I need to know, that I need to share, because it is important to people. So that's why I share those dreams, even if they're disturbing sometimes. And I know some people think that they are, but that's okay. It's what I got to do. I'm having the dreams hasn't been fun either. I'm seeing some of the stuff go down in my dreams, but yeah, I don't think that the court's going to rule in his favor. One judge may entertain him, but I don't think it's going to go very far either. Mel Yazdani on Facebook. Will Tim and I move in together soon? Thank you. I actually think y'all may make a decision, or y'all may talk about this in January or February. Y'all may go back and forth for a bit, but I think y'all will have the first chance that may come up for this, maybe around January or February. It may not be right away, but I feel like that's when the conversation will be had, and then y'all may be able to move forward and get that done. Okay. Norm Krieger, Fernie, any messages from my best friend Peter, who passed 3 months ago? Thank you. Yes, first of all, he's showing me handcuffs, and I feel like he's making a joke. So I don't know if there is a joke about about arrested or handcuffs, or something about, I don't know what that means, but he's doing that. So there's a reference there. He also keeps acknowledging. He's got a drink in his hand, so he makes me feel like he's just sitting back or kicking back and he's enjoying himself. And he can do the things that he couldn't do anymore towards the end, but he's got a drink in his hand. He also keeps acknowledging. He might have actually tried to get your attention by making something fall off the wall or have something fall off the window. But there's something there that he might have tried to do to get your attention. I keep smelling smoke, so I don't know if he was a bit of a smoker or yeah, I keep smelling smoke. So I wouldn't say that either he was a smoker or there's a reference to smoking because he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps Joy. The name Joy is significant, like a female name Joy. So I think Joy might be significant as well. So there may be a reference there as well. He also keeps acknowledging the number 5. I saw 5/5, but obviously we only go up to 30/31 with each month. It might be May 5th that he's wanting to acknowledge, or there's something about 55 that may be connected. But there's a reference there as well. He also he also is acknowledging meeting Lucille Obal or wanting to tell you, like, I've met Lucy or I met Lucille. So he's acknowledging Lucille Obal as well. Okay. Ali Kitchen, hello. Wondering if my father-in-law John has anything to pass on to us. Yeah, he's actually. Thank you. So I don't know if y'all have had to deal with a lot of financial kind of coordinating with the stuff after his passing, or y'all are actually going through something right now that he is trying to bring up or just acknowledge. But he's referencing something about financial matter or something that legally financially has to be sorted out or resolved. He also talks about a 3 split break or trying to deal with 3 things at the same time, but he's making reference to that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. I feel like Buck. It's funny because I'm thinking of Buck Rogers, which I don't know if he would know what Buck Rogers is, but I'm thinking of Buck Rogers. I also think there might be a picture of him where he's either in a cap or a hat as well. He also keeps talking about there's a horse with him in spirits. I don't know if he had a horse or y'all know of a horse that's passed, but there's a horse with him in spirit as well. He also keeps thinking Amelia or Emily or Ellie or Emily. It sounds like that. So there's a name connection as well. I'm assuming it might be this with the horse, or there's someone else as well there. He's trying to acknowledge also in spirit. He also talks about the 2 rings. So I don't know if y'all have 2 of his rings or there are 2 rings connected to him, but he's making me aware of that as well. Okay. He keeps pointing to his heart and saying that there was more challenges or issues than was expected. So there might have been some issues that were affecting this area of his body as well. Oh, wow. Okay. So Sandra was telling me more about it. Sandra's like, can I ask the lotto numbers? I wish. And by the way, y'all, there are psychics who have actually won the lottery. So just FYI, it's funny because if I ever won the lottery, no one would ever know unless like the state outed me. But I wouldn't care so much about the money part because, like you can have a good life without having to like be flashy. And I'm not a very flashy person to begin with. What I would do with the money, because I always wondered like, what would I do if I won the lottery? I'm already doing it. It's just low key, so I haven't announced it yet, but I'm already doing it. But I'm working on an organization that helps to offer resources to people who want to develop spiritually. And I want to educate and provide like as much free resources as I can for people, because I think that many times we're caught, I grew up in a very religious, family, and religion can stop you from living your full life. Religious dogma can keep you from having a real relationship with God, believe it or not. So I want to help people not only to evolve spiritually in their own way, but I also want to give people a chance to connect with others who have the same desires to evolve spiritually. And I also just want to provide people with resources so that they can basically have a place that they can go to or connect to get the information they want. So that's what that is about. But I'm working on that. So Sandra, apparently Sandra is a client, and she asked me about her father because she didn't know where her father was. And we did a reading apparently, and I gave her some information. That's what I'm assuming, because she hasn't said that. But what she said was, you saw someone from Cali connected to him, and she was indeed And she was indeed third cousin. Then found out he's in Cuba. And oh, have a sister, literally 2 months after the DNA result, just like you said, to a T. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that. So I'm happy that you were able to find your dad and that you were able to connect with family of yours as well. So that makes me happy. I never met my father. I never got a chance to meet him. So I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Okay, let's bring somebody on because we're getting to our time frame here. So let's bring some people on here. Let's go here. All right.
Hey,
Hello.
Ferny. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And you?
I am doing great. Trying to stay warm, but definitely doing pretty good. What did you want to ask me?
So I was curious if you had any messages from my spirit guide or my grandmother that passed away several years ago.
Mm-hmm. First of all, your spirit guide. Do you know your spirit guide's name?
You told me it was Harry.
Okay. Um, I'm checking myself to see if that sounds about right. It's funny because I heard Mahalo, which I don't know what that's about. But that's not a name. That's just like, I feel like I want to say Mahalo. So I feel like I want to say something that has to do with Mahalo. Thank you. There's a
Okay.
male. So I know you asked me about your grandmother, but there's another person that I want to kind of connect with for a second. I've got another male popping in. I want to say this male would either be slightly older than you or to your side. I also am seeing Hawaiian shirt attire, and I'm also seeing the military. Do you know anyone who may have served in the military or had a connection to Hawaii or being connected to Pearl Harbor?
No, I don't.
Okay, so for me, this is a male. I want to say is possibly connected to the military, or probably connected to the military. I'm seeing the whole Hawaiian shirt type thing. I want to say mahalo, so I want to say that there's something with this person. I also
Okay.
want to connect to the name A, possibly Andy or Andrew, but there's an A
Okay.
connection to this as well. And this might be not directly related to you, person, but they may be connected to you through someone else that you're related to. So you might
Okay.
need to ask your family. So that's one person. Just want to get them out of the way, but they're wanting to let everybody know that they're okay and they're good and they're happy. So, okay, coming back to your grandma, immediately she's doing this. So whenever they do this, it means I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or I wasn't able to speak prior to my passing. She also talks about one of her lungs collapsing or becoming compromised. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I was in the hospital with her. She had so she had the fluid on the lungs and everything else, and she couldn't breathe. And they actually punctured one of her lungs when
Oh
they were
wow,
trying
yeah,
to
that
draw
makes
fluid
sense.
off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I was seeing a friend of mine, and he actually ended up with a collapsed lung, and it was crazy for him to go through that. So that's what I was seeing.
Yeah.
She also keeps, thank you. She also keeps referencing. It's interesting because even though I think she's trying to give me a name, it's been interesting because even though you said Harry, is there a Harriet or Henrietta or Henrietta, Harriet? Is there, you know, if there's a Harriet or Henrietta name connection to the family?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, there may be. I've done a lot of genealogy, and I know
Okay,
there is
so
several generations back.
interesting. Okay, because here's what they were showing. What she's doing is she's showing me. I feel like I'm seeing historical feel. Like I got a historical vibe. Do you know if part of the family is from the South, or there was plantations connected to part of the family?
Uh, Originally, they were from Kentucky and North Carolina
Okay.
back in the late 1700s, early 1800s,
Okay,
before they migrated to Arkansas.
got it. If you look at the family name
Okay.
going that way, like I want to say maybe back into like the 18, maybe 17, 1800s, there may actually
Okay.
be a town that is named for the family or like an area that is kind of named for the family because she's
Okay.
referencing something like that. So you might want to look into that because that'd be interesting.
Okay.
She also keeps thinking, she also keeps acknowledging thumping. Thank you. Do you know she had a habit of thumping her foot, or she would have these twitches where her foot would twitch or her foot would,
Yeah.
because she's doing that for me. So she's acknowledging that as well.
Okay.
She also keeps acknowledging that. Thank you. Did y'all have to kind of have her to the side a little bit because she makes me feel like the pressure on her body or on her was too much and it was so uncomfortable for her. So she's just acknowledging that.
Yeah, she had sciatic nerve problems in later years.
Okay, because she's acknowledging this. She also keeps thinking, was she really pretty when she was younger? Because
Oh yeah,
she just
yeah,
like,
she was gorgeous.
okay, because I mean, like, I want to kind of line her up next to like, some of these like female movie stars who are like, because
Right.
what she's doing is she's showing me all of these like physical issues, and then all of a sudden she like shifted her appearance for me, and she's sitting there and she's like, did she smoke when she was younger?
No, she didn't.
Okay, well, she's showing me like the movie star women that were very
My
much
grandfather did.
okay.
My
Well,
grandfather smoked like a chimney.
she smoked when she was younger. You may not know about it. You
Okay.
might need a dig because she's showing me an image of, and she's doing this like she's this like very beautiful kind of not so much glamorous, but just very naturally beautiful because she's showing me this.
Right.
She's also
She
talking
was.
about the teacher. Do you know if she was a teacher or if there's a teacher in the family?
There's several teachers in the family.
Got it. She's just acknowledging the teachers in the family. She's apologizing to them and just telling them how sorry she is because of what they've had to deal with this year. So I guess
Okay.
this has been just been a year for them. She
Yeah.
also is acknowledging. Thank you. Is there also an? She's giving me a name. Is there also an Ellie or Amy name?
No,
It's an
not
E.
that, not that I know.
Could be Haley. It's a.
There's a Haley. Her mother was named Haley.
Got it. Okay. She's just trying to tell me who's with her. So she's just acknowledging who's with her in spirit as
Okay.
well. She also, thank you. Are there twins in the family or did someone have twins but one of them didn't make it?
No, not on our side.
It might be on her level. So if you look into her or her siblings, she's acknowledging like twins and one of them not
Now her
survived.
sibling, she had twin brothers.
Okay, got it. So she's just
Yeah, one
acknowledging.
of them
So
died in the Korean War.
oh
Yeah.
wow, okay, got it. So she's just acknowledging the twins and like the twins being with her. So she's just wanting to reference.
Okay.
Yeah. She also says she's proud of you. She also said, is this your mom's mom?
This is my dad's mom.
Okay, she's wanting to bring up your mom. Do you know if your mom had a closer connection with her, or she and your mom got along really well?
No, my parents divorced when I was really young. They were only married for a couple of years.
She's bringing up your. Nope, she's bringing up your mom first. Is there a Debbie or
Dana?
it could be Diana? Who is that?
Dana's my mom.
Okay, yeah. See, she's wanting to acknowledge your mom's mom is also past your grandmother on that side as well.
Yes.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Do you know she had some sort of toxemia with her blood or some sort of blood?
he did.
That's it. Yeah, they're just saying hello. They're just wanting to
Oh,
acknowledge,
okay.
wanting to say hello. Your grandmother, again, your dad's mom, she's acknowledging being proud of you. She also says four-leaf clovers. Look out for four-leaf clovers because that's going to be a sign from her.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You take care of
All right.
yourself.
All right. Thanks, Ferny.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right, let's see. Mhm. There we go. Let's see. Hello.
Hi, how are
How you
you?
doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. What do you want to ask me?
Um,
By the way,
okay.
before you start, have you ever considered going into the legal industry or the like legal government related work?
In the past, like
Okay.
middle school.
This is gonna come back up in your life somehow. So I feel like even though you might have maybe taken yourself in another direction or gone another direction, some of this activism and legal law related stuff may come back up and you might go back into that or have a pull of going back into that in the next 3 or 4 years. So don't be surprised if that comes up.
Awesome. I
Okay.
love that.
Great.
Okay. I guess just a general question about like spirit guides, if they have any messages for me
Mhm.
and how I can connect with them.
Yeah. So your spirit guides, you have 3 guides, but you only have one primary. The other 2 are secondary, so they don't really. I always feel bad when I say the guides don't matter because they do matter, but like the secondaries are never around long enough. The primary guide's name is Trinidad.
Trinidad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Trinidad. It's a male. His name is Trinidad. I want to say, yeah, because I'm seeing darker features, but like Latin or Hispanic darker features. So his name is Trinidad.
Okay.
You overthink things, so stop it. Because you keep like, am I doing it the right way? I don't think I'm doing it the right way. Like you keep like getting in your head and like, um, basically you're not giving yourself leeway to just kind of feel your way through it, so you need to stop that. Your guy makes me feel like he's actually shown up in your dream various times. You just are never remembering your dreams, or you're not writing them down to remember them, so you need to start doing that.
I just
He's also,
like okay, sorry. I started
yeah,
like yesterday, so this is crazy.
good, perfect. So he's almost getting on your butt about it, like this is why you're hearing this. So he's acknowledging that. He also keeps, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging that it's okay to say no to people and not always be the good guy. So it's almost like you might need to learn to get comfortable with saying no, because setting those boundaries is going to be important. He also says don't let anyone push you or back you into a corner. And I think that you might be dealing with some stuff in the next month or so that you might feel like you're being backed into a corner, and you might need to kind of set boundaries and kind of punch back a little bit. He also makes me feel, thank you. You're the best time it's gonna sound weird, but the best time to talk to him is when you're in the shower.
In the shower?
Because you can hear him clearly when you're in the shower, because he drops the ideas in your head and then you wonder where they came from or what you thought about. But he says that he likes to communicate with you while you're in the shower. And part of it may be the water, because the water acts as a conductor, but that may help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetheart. The dreams. He's going to come up in the dreams, so you need to start keeping track of those.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome,
Have a
love.
nice night.
You too. She's so pretty. She's one of those girls where she knows she's pretty, but she pretending like she ain't. Like she's one of those. That's what she is. All right, let's see. Let's do Hugo. Here we go. Hugo coming on. See if Hugo answers. Hello.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What did you want to ask me?
If I should continue to pursue becoming a teacher.
Um, yes, because, well, it's your life. You can do whatever you want. I think
Mhm.
it's not a bad idea. I think you need the skills that you're going to get from going into that. So I think you need the skills. I don't think you're going to stay a teacher, though. I actually think you're going to end up going and becoming a community organizer within an area or neighborhood. So it's like,
Okay.
the people who get people together. Okay, we're all holding an event. We're having a group discussion. We're gonna talk about what's going on in the neighborhood. Like that's what I see you going into. So I feel like you're going to go into more community organizing, and also dealing with organizations that like maintain or reinforce, I guess, ordinances and stuff like that. So I think you'll go into that, but you need the teaching skills because you're going to use it for adults.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Yes. Any messages from my spirit guides?
Do you know what your spirit guide's name is?
No.
Okay. His name is Malachi.
Okay.
Okay. Don't put too much pressure on yourself with your family because you might feel too responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you do what you can, but don't overdo it, because all of that is not your responsibility. You kind of need to let people still be themselves. So don't take
Okay.
too much accountability for things that you really don't need to take too much control over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. That's it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. Turtles in a half shell, turtle power. Okay. Let's see. Who else? Oh, we got Alana. Let's do Alana. Let's see if I can get Alana in here. All right, Alana. Alana LeBlanc. I'm coming for you. I'm not seeing you connecting. So I'm going to count to 5, and then I'll try you again if I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to cancel that. Let's see. Tracy here. Hello?
Oh, hi. Oh my
Hi, how you
gosh.
doing? You're like, oh my God, I look awful. That's okay. You're
Yeah.
fine. You're fine. Don't worry. I was gonna wear my robe because I was chilly, but I was like, nah, I don't want to be, sloppy because we don't like sloppy psychics. So,
Yes. So this is like the first time I'm here, so I really did not think I
oh,
was
how
gonna get
funny.
to.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that happens a lot. Sometimes people, when they get called, oh, she froze. See what happens when you show. That's what happens. There you are. I was like, oh no, I hope it didn't disconnect. Yeah, a lot of people sometimes when they're like it's their first time, they'll get picked, and it's always like I always tell Spirit, like just guide me to the person you want me to talk to. Give me that pull, and then I'll go to them. So, what did you want to ask me?
Um, well, that's awesome. But um, somebody passed away 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was very special. He's actually the father of my daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
the way he died, it was a very
Don't tell me too
traumatic
much. Don't tell me
and
too much. Don't tell me too much
oh,
because I let him tell me. Okay, so this would be your ex, right?
yes.
Got it. Okay. So first of all, he keeps acknowledging the number two. Do you know if February or the second of a month is connected?
Yeah.
Okay. He also keeps talking. He also keeps acknowledging the four. Are there four siblings for him, or is he one of four?
Yes.
Because he's wanting to acknowledge his siblings, so he's referencing them. He also wants to let you know that there's a little. Thank you. I don't know if it's a cat or dog. I'm gonna go with dog. There's a little dog that's also there in spirit that passed away. So did you know there's a small dog that passed?
Um,
It would sound like a Chi-Chi or Cha-Cha.
I think so. When he was smaller,
I don't know if
probably.
it's his dog or your dog, but he's just wanting to acknowledge his dog. So,
Okay, if it's ours, then yes.
okay.
Yes.
So he's acknowledging that dog, that being there. He
Chico.
also, what?
Chica, chica, chica,
Chica, there it
chica.
is. Okay, got it. Chica, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's showing me a bracelet. Did you get a bracelet after his passing?
I did it, but my daughters did.
Okay, because he's acknowledging the bracelets that were given or the bracelets that were connected to him after his passing, because he's acknowledging that as well. He also talks about the balloon floating or popping. Did something weird happen with the balloon where it popped or it was floating in a weird way?
Um, I took my daughters to counseling, and towards the end or the final or the ending of the counseling, we did a balloon
Release?
release.
Oh,
Hmm.
got it. Okay, so he's just acknowledging that. Um, did one of them pop before y'all were able to get it to fly or something? He's making fun of it popping and scaring y'all.
I remember vaguely, but it was 7 years ago.
That's okay. That's okay. He's just referencing that, acknowledging that. He also keeps thank you. Did he have a little bit of facial hair or like a mustache?
Yes, we used to joke that because I
Okay.
used to tell him that I would have more facial hair than him.
Oh my God, girl. Okay. So he's just acknowledging the facial hair, the mustache, and he's making reference to that. He says, thank you. So the first thing he wants to say is he loves you and he appreciates everything that you've done for the girls since his passing. He also wants to apologize because he feels he could have done better. And so he's bringing that up and he feels like he could have done more before his passing. He also says that his passing the way he makes me feel is this was a really bad series of things happening to cause his passing, but he isn't making me feel like this was like murder or like someone intended to take his life. It was just all these things happening that brought about his passing. He is also making me feel, thank you. I feel like I'm bleeding out a little bit. Do you know if there was issues in the bleed out or he bled out a little bit?
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
got it. He's also, thank you. What he's showing me he's showing me he's showing me something and I'm trying to figure out why he's showing this to me. So I have a friend named Chelsea. She was on a bicycle and she was hit by a vehicle and they left her there to die. And there was just too much damage. And one of the issues or one of the things that was damaged was her spleen. But I remember like all the stuff that they were talking about, how there was so many things that were wrong or that were damaged. Do you know if he had also issues with his spleen or something happened with the bleed out?
um, the from my understanding was he was not going to be recognized, so it had to be a closed casket.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't with him at that moment. I had already moved on. I'm married at this point. So
Okay.
I didn't ask too many questions
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, she's married. Why is she crying for him?" You know. But
Because
people
this is
don't
something, I
understand.
mean, this is the father of your children. Like, what the hell is wrong with them? To think that you
Yes.
shouldn't have any feelings for your ex. Like, get a grip, people. Like, come on, y'all had children together. Yeah, no. First of all, it's funny because he just did this, and when he did this, he is like smiling and a twinkle in his tooth. So he's kind of in love with himself. So he's like smiling and like coming across like he knows he looks good and he doesn't matter. He is acknowledging that he keeps showing me a brush or a comb. Do you know there's a funny joke about a brush or a comb? Because he keeps showing this to me as well.
Not a brush or a comb. It's a can of WD-40. If it's about throwing it to him, I got mad at him one time. A long story, and I threw a can of WD-40, and he was like 50 feet away from me,
Uh-huh.
and he moved, and when he moved, it hit him right in the forehead.
Okay.
So
No, that's not. Well, I mean that. Well, that's funny, but I don't think he's what he's talking about. He's talking about like a brush or a comb, and something about a joke about like combing my hair over or like combing it in a certain way or trying to something about changing my style and it not working. And it was just there's something about this comb or brush thing that's funny. It was with the girls recently. He's
okay.
talking about the girls recently. This just happened.
Okay, so it must be my youngest one because when my youngest one, she had no hair until she was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. And there was absolutely no way we can kind of comb her hair. So maybe that's what he's referring to.
Okay, so if she's combing her hair now, then he's just acknowledging her being able to comb her hair now because he's acknowledging that as well. Is there a Danielle or De La Rosa or I almost want to go to De La Rosa. Is there some sort of De La Rosa or De La Ri, De La Ro, De La Ri? It sounds like this. So it feels like a long D name. It sounds like a last name.
Not that I can think of.
It's I mean the close if it's a first name it'd be like Diego or something. But it's like De La Rosa, De La Ri, there's something there because he's making reference to that. He also talks about do you know there's 7 tattoos connected to him?
Probably, yes.
Okay, because I'm like he was gonna show me 2, and then he showed me 7, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot. Someone may also have some on their like fingers or on their like this, because he's showing me this as well. He also says that it happened very fast and he didn't feel it. So he's acknowledging that it was really fast and that he didn't feel it and that he's okay now. He also says that he owes you a lot, and he's also actually shaking the hand of your husband. So he's acknowledging that and letting you know that he wants to make sure that you're treated well and to make sure that that's the case. But he's letting you know that he appreciates what you've done with the kids. There's also a book that might be connected to him, or you putting him inside a book or talking about a character in a book and it being that. But there's a reference there as well because he's acknowledging that. He's okay, sweetheart. He also did show up in your dream to tell you these things. You just didn't remember parts of it.
Okay. Can I ask him I just want him to know that I forgive him, and I mean, I've always carried that
He says you told me that. He says you already told me you forgave me. So did you tell him already that you forgave him?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you did it. You were in a vehicle. You had just finished shopping, or you had come out of a store or something like that, and you were sitting in your car. You were getting ready to go somewhere because that's what he's showing me. So he says you were talking to him, and this was a situation like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
He's okay, sweetheart, and you're welcome. You're welcome, darling. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's bring Candy on. Let's see. Hey, beautiful.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
You're so
god.
funny. You're so funny.
I'm over here like all concentrated on my work, but like still listening into you.
That's funny.
So guess what? Okay,
What?
so last time when I asked you a question, the restructuring for my job was supposed to happen in December, and I kept typing October, and I was like, no, idiot, like December, but it was too late. I had already pressed enter. So the restructuring happened in October. Okay, and like I got taken out of my group. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on at work, and we don't know. We're still in limbo of like if they're going to give us an extended opportunity past December.
Yeah.
For full-time employment or
Yeah.
what?
There,
And you just like keep something in the back of your pocket. So today
yeah.
I interviewed for another position.
Same
And
company? Same company?
no, well, this is
Okay.
for a nonprofit. And I'm kind of scared because
Is
I
this the
believe,
one connected to Simran?
yes.
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Because I
Well,
was
yeah,
already I was already expecting you to go over to Simran's nonprofit. Like I already was expecting that. I didn't want to say anything to her because I wanted to let that all play itself out. But I was already feeling like that was going to be the case. So I think that you may also get a double whammy because you might get another opportunity with the company you're with as well. So you'll have to make a decision. The
yeah.
opportunity with Simran, is that not happening until January though?
Well, I kind of told, like, I do want to give a 2 weeks notice. You know, adequate notice is very important to me. I don't want to screw anybody over. I don't want to burn any.
Yeah.
Like my um, finals are coming up in December, so I kind of want to get those out of the way so that when I'm doing a learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
I can have one class to work on
Mm-hmm.
and give it my focus. What frightens me though is like growth and development. Like I tend to second guess myself. Like, can I do this? Can I be great?
Oh yeah, you're already great. What are you talking about? Like, America's already great. You're already great. So, so you don't have to worry about whether you need to be great or not. You're already great. I think that it's actually a really good path for you because I think what's going to happen is I think this is going to kind of set you up for some other things that you would have never considered going towards or moving in the direction of. I also see you going into like. What I feel like this is going to lead to is I feel like this is going to lead to some sort of implementation project management type thing. That's what I see.
So I was going to speak to my boss tomorrow and be like, you know, this is an opportunity that's presenting itself. I don't know where you see me here within the next 5 years, but you know, like if he can outbid it or something,
Yeah.
or let me grow into a leadership position where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like
I don't feel bad about either of these opportunities. If you stay with the same company, you will still blossom and do well. If you go with the other opportunity, you'll still blossom and do well. So it's really not about good or bad. It's just about which one do you feel the most confident or comfortable with.
Where do you see the most growth and development
With the nonprofit.
with the nonprofit?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so let's see. Candy, by the way, Candy, reach out to Lisa because you may not have. I forgot to tell you, Lisa tested positive, so reach out to her, just to say hi, if you want to, because I know she's freaking out a little bit right now. One more, I think. Una mouse. Alana, I'm gonna try you again, okay? So I'm gonna come back to you, and I'm gonna try you one more time and see if I can get a hold of you. And it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it, Alana. Okay. All right, let's try somebody else. Let's see. You know what? Let's go with Hector. Let's see if we can bring Hector on. It's funny because that name's been on my mind in the last hour. This H Hector, and I was just gonna say it earlier, but let's see if he can answer. Come on, Hector. All right. Can't wait too long. BR Home Improvement. Ferny, I wanted to know if this may be my month for fertility. I have been trying to conceive for 2 years. Would love to get some insight. I feel like I am seeing the strongest energy vibe with baby in February. So what I would say to you is keep trying. That doesn't mean anything that I'm seeing in February. It's possible that you may go for it, but they may not be able to validate, or there may be some there may be a delay in this, but I feel like February is a good baby month for you, or energy month. Doesn't mean you should stop or not continue to try, but I think you might succeed or luck out in February, okay? By the way, y'all, I am really appreciating all of the Christmas music. I think they knew that we needed it. And even though every year we're like, oh my God, they're like starting early, like, no, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with the Christmas music this year with the year that we've had, because I don't think so. Okay, here's Nancy. Let's turn Nancy. Let's bring Nancy on. Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I've never done this.
That's okay, no worries. No, but I don't think anybody's ever done it, so you're not alone in that. What did you want to ask me?
Yes, I wanted to ask you if there's any messages from my father.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting, even though you're asking me about your father, there are 3 females or women in spirit who are holding hands, who are wanting to let you know that they're there. Is your mom's mom passed, your grandmother on that side?
My grandmother, my mom,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she has passed.
Okay. Do you know if she had 2 sisters with her that are also passed?
Yes, they
Got it.
passed.
Got it. So she's just your grandmother on that side is saying hello. She's the bird, so the bird or the cardinal is your grandmother. She's also saying hello. She's acknowledging your mom or wanting to reference your mom as well. She also said to have patience. Do you and your mom not always get along, or do you kind of not always see eye to eye on stuff?
We get along. We argue a little
Okay.
bit.
Your grandmother knows. So she's
Yeah.
just she's telling you to have patience with your mom, because your mom sometimes works herself up too much. Okay.
Yes.
Now you wanted to ask me about your dad. Is that what you're asking me about? Got it. He is, first of all, he's acknowledging another male with him. Does he also have a brother who's passed? Do you have an uncle who's also passed? Okay.
Who just passed away.
Got it. So he's just acknowledging. He also, do you know if thank you. Do you know if there was 2 issues actually happening at the same time for the uncle that just passed?
He had COVID.
Okay. Got it. And then did he also have like diabetes or some other issue that was
Yes.
Yeah. So your dad is letting me know that he's got the uncle with him and that the uncle is okay to let the family know that he's okay. He also talks about, thank you, the 5 and the 7. Do you know if the 5th of a month or May is connected and the 7th of a month or July is connected?
July for my grandmother, my mom.
Okay. So he's acknowledging the 5 and the 7. So either that or May 7th is connected, but there's a link there because he's tying those in. He also keeps referencing, thank you. Is there an Esperanza name or SP name?
Esperanza. Yes, one of my grandmothers.
Oh, okay, got it. He's just wanting to acknowledge or let us know who's with him as well. Is that his mother?
His mother.
Got
Yes.
it. He's let us, and she's passed, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's just trying to let us know who's with him. He also keeps, thank you. Is there also I don't know if it's a George or Jorge, but is there a George or Jorge name connection also?
Jorge is my cousin.
Got it.
But
He's alive. Yeah, so it's okay. He's just acknowledging the Jorge. Is Jorge's father also passed?
Yes.
Got it. This is who's coming through as well. So, yep, so he's just acknowledging that as well. Your father, first of all, he says that he's okay, that he feels fine. He also is acknowledging that he should have listened to the doctors or done more, because he makes me feel like he didn't take it seriously or he didn't do enough to acknowledge his condition. He also makes me feel like he was ready to go, though, when it was time, because he says that he'd already been dealing with it for a bit. He also says the last 6 months of his life were the toughest. So he's not trying to make it seem like it wasn't easy, because he says it wasn't easy. He says it was hard. He also, thank you. Did you put a rosary or a cross in his hand or
No.
palm? Okay. He's showing me either a rosary or a cross. Do you have a rosary or a cross that's connected to your father?
No.
Okay. There's something about a rosary or a cross or a necklace in the palm of the hand. So I don't know if somebody prayed for him or prayed with him and they put this in his hand, but he's showing me something like this because there's a reference there as well. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Did you see him when you woke up from your dream or right before you were awake? Do you remember seeing him or a figure of a man?
I see him in my dreams, but I don't remember. Tells me.
Okay, there's something he's trying to tell me, because he's showing me only himself halfway up, like he's only showing me half of his body up. So there's almost a reference to this or acknowledgement about half of his body up. So if you saw this in a dream, he might be acknowledging only seeing half of him, or something about seeing half of him up. But there's a reference there. Okay. was he not the most vocally, emotionally expressive person?
No, he
Okay.
wasn't.
He wants to tell you he loves you. And I don't know if he didn't really say it often when he was alive, but he wants you to hear it from his lips that he loves you and that you are beautiful and that you are cherished and that he's sorry he wasn't able to express it in life. And he says that you are not a failure, that you were not a mistake, you were not a failure, and that he loves you. And he wants you to be absolutely clear that you understand that. He also wants you to know that he has been trying to apologize since he passed because he says he looked at his life and the things that he could have done differently. And he says one of the things that he could have done differently was to actually show you emotion and show you cariño. He's acknowledging that he didn't do enough of this and that he's sorry that you have this disconnect. Do you also feel, thank you, do you also struggle with this with males as well, where it's hard for you to get closer to be physically like bonded with males?
Yes.
Because he's blaming himself, and he said he is sorry for this, that he blames himself for this. He also says that even if he did show you physical affection, or he did was a physical, that he didn't mean for you to not feel loved, and he's acknowledging that, and he's again apologizing and blaming what you may still feel or struggle through today. He blames himself for this, so he's acknowledging that. He also keeps referencing the star. Is there a special significance to a star shape, or to a star in a picture, or a star in a shirt? It's gonna sound weird.
Yes, I think it's in an outfit that he used to wear.
Okay, because he's acknowledging the picture of the star in the shirt. So he's acknowledging that or making reference to that. He also keeps acknowledging thank you. He's doing this with his mouth. Do you know he had also had a stroke?
He had a stroke when he
That's
died.
it. Because he's doing this with his mouth, so he's acknowledging the issues with the stroke as well. Did y'all have to make the decision to go ahead and take him off life support, or not put him on life support and let him go ahead and pass?
My grandmother did. His
Okay.
mother.
He's just acknowledging that it was the right decision, and he's referencing that as well. He just says he loves you and he's sorry.
Okay.
He says, please forgive him. And he says he will find a way to make it up to you. He also says, look out for random dollars. So if you start finding random dollars out in public, or just random, like, and they have to be dollar bills, not just coins, dollars, like actual physical money. He says these are going to be little gestures from him to let you know that he's okay. And also that he's trying to give you some money so that you can use it. So he's just acknowledging that. Okay. You're welcome, sweetheart. You take care of yourself.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, we are out of time, and it's time for me to get over to the study group. So I am wishing y'all lots of love. I will be back here on Friday. Got that. All right. All right, so I'm just going to wait for my BFF to pop on here so we can get going. So we're doing a study group, guys. So we are doing the Course in Miracles study group, and we're going to be going over the material with Michelle as soon as she gets on here. So if you're tuning in for a reading, that's done, that's over with. So you can go to, you can come back on Friday. I'll be doing readings on Friday, okay? So there she is. Yay! Finally, took her long enough. Took you long enough. Of course, she's slow to connect because she's always slow, she's all she is. Well, just because that's why you're slow.
I've just been told that I need to pick somebody up from the basketball game.
Oh, Lord Jesus Christ.
That's why I'm in the damn car.
That's okay.
So let me turn off the Bluetooth at
Are
least
you
so that
driving?
I can just talk through here.
Are you driving?
Say again? You know I am. I'm still in the
Put
neighborhood.
the phone down. Just put the phone down. I can hear your voice. Just point it at something pretty to look at. Focus on the wheel. Focus on the driving.
I'm good. I'm still in the neighborhood. I just wanted you to be able to see me to know that I'm not at my desk.
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted it to be in my ears because it's on the Bluetooth and Kayla don't know the answers to the questions.
Okay.
So just give me a second and I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you. Y'all, oh my goodness. Well, we're waiting for her to get back on here. So, hold on, let's see, waiting for her to get back on here. She should be popping up any moment. Gosh, I'm so looking forward to the study group. I miss the study group, y'all. I really do. I miss talking about, the stuff that we talk about the spiritual, knowledge and wisdom and all of that stuff. So there she goes. She, did she request again? Did you request again? Let's see.
I'm back. I
Okay,
hear you.
cool. Yay! Okay, cool. All right, girl.
Yes, I heard you talking, lamenting on study group. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I was at my desk, all prepared, and then he's like, "Hey, mom, I'm back at the school." I'm like, "Boy, first."
Oh my goodness. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I mean, I'm just a mama running the basketball ferry. We've been getting up early for practice, and today was the first scrimmage. So, it's like a different routine.
Mm.
So, we're adjusting, but everybody's okay. Kayla went back to school, so
Mm.
we're rocking and rolling over here.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well,
How
that's
about you?
good. That's good. I'm doing great. I think today's like, I mean, even though I was a little slow to start today, it was like, because I had all these other things that I was trying to work on. So I was doing that, trying to finish the predictions thing to get that, completely out, prepared for the recording that I had to do. And then like, I was supposed to read through the Course in Miracles this morning to start prepping the notes, and I was like, and I was like, okay, that didn't happen because I got focused on all these other things that I was trying to get caught up with. So yeah, so that's where. So we're just gonna basically read it live and then figure it out live.
Okay.
Just because I didn't do my homework this time, and that's okay. I shouldn't. I
Okay.
don't always have to do my homework. I know enough about life to be able to figure it out.
You know what? Absolutely. And I did
Mm-hmm.
my homework, and now I'm in the car. So
I
you see
know,
how
right?
that
You're the
worked
one that did
out?
your homework, and now you're like, you're blacked out. You're blacked
Right.
out. So, okay. So the last time we left off, we were on 46, and we were still working through that. And I was like, yeah, we should be pretty much done with that. And then I turned the page over, and I was like, holy crap! And there's like so many more. There's like up to 20 sections of notes for 46. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Right.
So I think we've covered several of this already, but I'm just going to read through it just because I want to read through it to get to it. If something like pops out or that is something you want to talk about, then just stop me. If I want to stop, then I'll stop, but I'm just going to start reading through it, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the last sentence, so number 5. So the pleasure. By the way, guys, we're going over A Course in Miracles. We are doing the annotated version. Annotated version. Circle of Atonement is the organization that put this one together. This is based on the traditional Course in Miracles, but this one has all of the notes of Helen, who is the author, or she was the channel that the information came through. Okay, so number 5, the pleasure which is derived from sex is reliable only because it stems from an error which people shared. Awareness of the error produces guilt. Denial of the error results in projection. Correction of the error brings release. So in other words, all she's saying is like, once you realize that the ability to connect to the deepest, most purest form of self and source isn't physical, it's way beyond that. This is just one way to connect, but it's not the most effective way to connect spiritually and on an energetic level. And once you figure that out, then the desire for sex to be, the importance of sex loses its importance, and it's just a physical biological function that we share. So the only valid use of sex is procreation. I already read that. Child of God, you were created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Do not lose sight of this. Invite me to enter anywhere temptation arises. I will change the situation from one of inappropriate sexual attraction to one of impersonal miracle working. This is the real meaning of changing the channel for libidinal expression. I don't know what that means. I want to go back to child of God, where temptation arises, I will change the situation from one of inappropriate action to one of impersonal miracle working. Okay, sorry about that. The love of God for a little while must be expressed through one body to another. That is because the real vision is still so dim. Everyone can use his body best by enlarging the perception of others so they can see the real vision. This vision is invisible to the physical eye. The ultimate purpose of the body is to render itself unnecessary. Learning to do this is the only real reason for its existence. So, in other words, the body is what I think what she's saying there is that the body is a reminder, is an intentional reminder to us that we are unlimited beings and that we are source. However, we all of us get caught up in the body as if the body is the be all end all, like it's the end of all of it. And so we get really obsessed with our bodies. Our bodies are just tools for experiencing and going through unique perspectives. So what they're saying here is that, you know, the physical body is really not all that important. It is just a mechanism for understanding the self and how you're more than what the self is reflecting or what it's showing us to be.
Right. I think that's a number one thing for us here. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's so like, oh, I have this, and oh, I look like this, and oh, my
Mm-hmm.
body is like this. Like I saw, you know, this chick today, her body was really amazing, and I was like, it would take so much focus to do this.
Yeah.
And this other girl was like, I don't agree. I'm like, you don't know what the starting point is for everybody. You know, we
Yeah.
all come in
Yeah.
different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
You know, just like we always talk about, in order for you to have a specific experience in that. And, you know, we don't all have to match or be uniform. Like, we should be different expressions. And it's,
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way because like Ed works out a lot. He actually has a really nice body, and so he has like a built up chest and arms and all that other stuff. But it has taken him years to get to that point, and I understand why he sometimes freaks out in the middle when you know he can't work out or he can't keep up with his routine. I know why that would freak him out because he's so used to being able to continue to maintain that, but it's taking years to get to that point. I don't really care enough to invest that much time and energy into trying to get to look in a certain way. Now, granted, I always thought to myself, maybe I should do muscle work or just muscle building because it'll help my body stay put together when I get older and I get frail. But
Right.
I don't feel like it, so I'd rather just like not even worry about it.
Okay.
You
I
know,
know, right?
it's too
I
much
have
work.
a
It's too much
kangaroo
work.
pouch.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
yeah. Like it already takes enough energy. It already takes enough effort just to cope with all of the energy exchanges I have to
Yes.
deal with. You know.
Yeah. And that's what I think too, is like, depending on the type of person you are,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're not like a psychic medium that has to like, you know, deliver themselves to service for the collective nonstop, it's probably
Mm-hmm.
easy to be like, well, I'm going to the gym to spend all my hours at the gym. You know, like we can't all do that. So,
No,
you know,
no, yeah, no. And it's funny because when I was younger, I used to be a workout freak, but I was like, nah, it's not important. Next one is we said before that prayer is the medium of miracles. The miracle prayer is, if you will tell me what to do, I will do it. This prayer is the door that leads out of the desert forever. This is basically this is the prayer that I use, like that I've been using like like I always talk about like, you know, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I trust you. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Or use me. Like, I don't know how, just use me and make sure that you help me understand that I'm being used so that I can trust in the process. And that's pretty much my prayer. So that's pretty much what I put out there. And I think having that kind of mindset where instead of trying to tell the world of the universe what you want or what you choose to do, you just allow yourself to rise to a grander potential that you cannot even fathom because we're still very stuck in this, you know, small body. But you've got the grander universe, the creator, that is allowing us to express creation. And I think
right.
that that's going to bring about a much larger, grander expression and experience of being that we individually may not be able to come up with.
Right. And I think that is the number one thing. Just like your friend or your viewer that you were just talking to, or, you know, she was talking about her new job and she was like, you know, you were like, well, you're already great. It's like when you ask, what am I supposed to do? And then this message gets delivered to you that's like really, really huge. And you're like, well, I don't think I'm able to do that. Why did I ask that question? But like,
Yeah.
you absolutely still have to make the
Mm-hmm.
effort to rise to the occasion. So I think that's where people get stuck, is in the rising to the occasion, you know?
Yeah. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy to get comfortable. Not that there's anything wrong with being comfortable. I mean, I prefer to be comfortable and stable than to have a crazy, like, you know, drama in my life. Like, I prefer stability and just like things to be chill. But with like the work that I've done and everything that I've been trying to focus on in the last year, I find myself saying yes to a lot. I can say yes to a lot of things that I should do. Like for example, like when I was doing the skit for Halloween that I did with Miss She Be Lion. So the skit itself, like that sounds like okay. Well, I'm a psychic and a medium and a spiritual teacher. Why am I like getting into drag and like doing these skits? And I think when I first heard the idea, I'm like, oh my god, I love that. I'll try it. You know, years ago I would have never done something like that because I think I was too like restrained and restricted. Now I'm a
Yeah.
lot more free and like can do whatever. But when the idea first came up, my first response always used to be like, oh, let me say hi to my Lisa. Let me say hi to my Lisa. So my first response would be, I don't want to do that. Like that's me like stepping outside of my comfort zone, and you know, and now I'm like, well, I'll probably be uncomfortable doing it, but the hell with it. I'm gonna do it anyways. So now I just say yes and do it, and it turns out things will come together that make it great and a wonderful experience. Even though I'm freaked out and scared as hell to want to do it. So.
Right. I think whenever you can do something a little bit scared or with new, fresh bravery,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you start to catch a flow from it, like those are the things that really, really explode for you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um, 10. This, however, is not a complete statement because it does not exclude the negative. We have already told you to add the thought and not to do those you would not have me do in connection with miracles. The distinction has always been made here between miracle mindedness as a state and miracle doing as its expression. The former needs your careful protection because it is a state of mind readiness. This is what the Bible means in the references to hold yourself ready and other similar injunctions. Yeah. So, how ready do you feel to say yes when like life throws something at you as an opportunity or as a way for you to like level it up?
Wait, ask again because it was breaking up just then.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. What I was saying was how often are you ready to just go with whatever the flow is when it comes to like opportunities in either work, in career work, or just in your own like experience, even though it right away it's something you probably wouldn't really feel comfortable doing. Like how often do you feel ready to just go with whatever?
It just depends on what it is. You know,
Mm.
it's like if it's something that they're still like,
Oh, she broke up. She done frozen. She broke up. She probably got to her house. That's why. Oh, yeah.
I'm back again.
There you are. I can hear you now.
Okay. Which part did y'all hear? Or did you
I'm
hear?
pretty much here. Pretty much when you started to talk, and then that's it.
Okay. I was just saying it depends on what it is. Like if there's something that still has like fear around it or any limiting beliefs or anything, that's something that is going to take you longer to execute because you're going to have to talk yourself
Yeah,
into it, you know, because that's really what it
yeah,
is. Just saying, okay, I can do it. I can do it.
yeah,
No, I can't do it. Well, no, I
yeah,
can't do it. Yes, I can do it. I mean, it just depends on how many times you have to do it. You know, we're all a little bit different. But for me, it's like I said, it really depends on what it is. And like, I make content all the time. When I
mm-hmm.
changed my trajectory, having to go by myself was always a little bit nerve wracking. And I used to go live all the time and talk about
Mm-hmm.
nonsense and be like, la la la, hee 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 hee. But when it came
Yeah,
to like, okay, now
yeah,
you have to talk about some real shit, I was like, oh, wait. But what about the mean girls?
yeah,
Or what about those people who think I'm stupid? You know, all of those little old mindsets, isms that just need to be cleared. It's like it just depends on what it is. Because
mm-hmm.
there's some things that I'm like, okay, I'll do it today.
Yeah,
And then there's other things where I'm like, just let me put my Taurus shoes on and
mm-hmm.
you know, so
Mm-hmm.
it just really depends on what it is.
Yeah. I remember when I first did like a group like session for people. This was like years ago, and I had been invited. And granted, I'm from the hood. I was from the hood. I'm still from the hood. I'm never going to be out of the hood. But coming from the hood, the idea of like people who have money or people who live in a nice side of the town or people who are like in big houses, like that is very scary and frightening to a person from the hood because that immediately puts you out of your comfort zone. And I remember I had been invited. This was still in the earlier periods of my development as a professional psychic and medium, and I had been invited by a women's club of over like 40 or 50 women to come to their meeting, their monthly meeting, I think, and be the guest speaker and also do readings for people. Oh my God, was that like, you mean just the idea of like, okay, not only am I going to have to get in front of these people and do this and prove that I can do all this, but I also got to go to the nice part of town that I'm not comfortable, and so all of that was like, but I did it anyways, and I just like went into it, and I'm sure, I'm sure that they could tell, okay, I was out of my element, but it doesn't matter. I still did it anyways. I'm proud I did it.
Right.
And I think doing it today would probably be a different story for me just because doing something like that today, that's nothing, just being around people. And so what I deal with all day is like people. But I said yes to it, and I'm glad I said yes to it because it pushed me out of my element, and it forced me to have to deal with something that would be a benefit to the work and to what I'm trying to do in the world. So it was a really interesting thing to say yes to, and I'm glad I did. And there's like since then I've said yes to plenty of things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why you're where you are. Like you always say, I don't see a lot of people doing exactly what I do, but they probably don't take the risks that you take either.
That's true. That's true. I have, and I've told people this, like, I don't know a lot of psychics who are doing what I do full time. Like, I don't know a lot of psychics. Like, I only know 3 psychic mediums or psychics who do this full time. And 2 of the 3 are, people who have been on television. So they've been able to like make a name for themselves and be able to, I don't know a lot of people who actually do it full time. Usually most of the psychics or mediums that I meet, they're only doing it part time. They still got like a full-time job. And I know several who have done well enough with their business that they could totally leave their full-time job and do this fully, but they're so connected or attached to that stability or that feeling of like security that they aren't willing to take the risk. And for me, it was like, I didn't have a choice. Like I had to do this because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And I had to get out of Starbucks because Starbucks was eating me up alive. So I had to choose this. And because I just didn't have any other options. And because I just ran with it, it worked itself out, and I'm glad I made that decision. To this day, it was like the best decision of my life to like do this full time and leave Starbucks, but even though it was a risk.
Right.
Let's see. Readiness here means keeping your perception right side up, so you will always be ready, willing, and able. There are the essentials for listen, learn, and do. You must be ready to listen, willing to learn, and able to do. And so I think that's beautiful because we always, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of whenever you get a new job. Usually when we get a new job, we're uncomfortable, we're out of our element, we don't really know how things go. So most of us feel like, oh, we're still kind of gauging and getting the handle of stuff. And typically whenever I've started a new job in the past, it was always like, okay, I need to like try to build a really good rapport with the person who's in charge, and I need to let them know that I'm willing to learn whatever it takes to do the job, and that I'm able to do it no matter what. And how often have we found ourselves in new job situations, we're uncomfortable, but we're willing to listen to what we're being told, we're willing to learn whatever new we need to learn, and then we're willing to follow through. I think the same methodology applies to spirituality, applies to like working from a place of God-centeredness, working from a place of source inspiration, where we do not know always what we are going to do because, we're choosing the life we're going to live. We can choose all of these things, but when you're in service to the world and to people, you're essentially giving up the choice of choosing who you're going to be in the world, and you're just you're siding yourself with the universe and with source and saying, you know what, screw whatever I wanted to do for myself. If it comes up and I can do it, I'll still do it, but I'm going to serve you. I'm going to serve you, and I'm
Right.
going to do the best that I can. Just tell me what I need to do. And so it's the same methodology, like that level of insecurity, but still being willing to open and receptively take the hints, follow the little hits of intuition, and then like just trust the process and go forward.
Right. Like this lady I listened to, she's like long dead. Like I think she died in like the 1920s or something.
Mm.
But she called them leads. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is where I'm supposed to go or whatever.
Yeah,
And
like a
like
tug. Mm-hmm.
today, I had a conversation with somebody, and actually, I told her to send you an email, or not an email, but to book in
Question.
a dream interpretation,
Oh.
because she
Mm-hmm.
had a pretty interesting, and like it was like, to me it was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
A dream about her brother who passed.
Mm. Oh,
You hear me? Am I breaking up?
yeah.
Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But as we talked, it was just
Yeah, I'm
like
here.
something that she said was like a lead for me, in that I remember a while ago having a feeling about something that I was supposed to be doing, like in regards to like mentoring and kids and that kind of thing. And I was like, if you tell me that this is where I'm supposed to go, I will go.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
It's
your
no. It's,
trajectory. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the trajectory changes, you know, because you just don't know. Like, they already know what they want you to be doing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Years ago, because before
It's okay.
before I moved to New Mexico, back when
Don't
I
do
lived in
this.
Houston, and this was years and years ago. This is probably like maybe 15 years ago. But I always used to, with everything going on with like the climate change and all these other things, I always I had a feeling that there was going to be some craziness with like climate change and hurricanes and more flooding in Houston and everything. So I was like, I need to be somewhere where it might be safer.
Hmm.
And I always, for some reason, imagined the mountains. Like I should be in the mountains. And I was like, okay, God, well, I don't know how, if I'm supposed to be in the mountains, I don't know how I'm going to get there. All of my family's in Houston. I don't know how I would end up in the mountains somewhere. Like, I don't even, and this was before I even traveled anywhere. Like, I was, always Houstonian, never traveled anywhere. Didn't leave, past like San Antonio. So I was always like in that area. And within a few weeks, I met my ex and we got into a relationship and fell in love. And then he got a job, interestingly enough, with a flight, with a carrier in Denver.
Mm.
And I was like, and so he's like, I'm moving to Denver. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, you going to come with me? And I was like, I guess so. So I was like, wow, that was fast. So I was like, okay, I don't know how you're going to get me there, but so be it. I didn't set any of that up. I wasn't planning for all of that to take place. It just kind of happened, right? So I
Hmm.
ended up moving to Denver for a year. I was there for a year, and Denver's fine. It's almost like Houston, but it's like in the mountains, and there's less diversity. But no, the last time I was there, it was pretty diverse. But it's just up in the mountains. But we were there for a year, and then I came back to Houston. And when I came back to Houston, I was like, what the hell, y'all? Like, I thought y'all were going to have me up in the mountains, or I thought I'm supposed to be in the mountains because, Houston's going to get crazy, or it's going to get crazy on the coastal areas. So how was that? And I just left it at that. Here I go, of course, years later, I live up in the mountains, and not only that, it's actually way better than Denver, because Denver is just
Hmm.
a city. This is like a cultural like experience for Santa Fe. So I'm like so happy about that. But I didn't never expected that I would be living in Santa Fe, that I would be living in New Mexico. And what
Hmm.
was interesting is, the tug to come here was just a very random tug. I had never heard anything about Santa Fe. I didn't even know what Santa Fe was. I didn't even know what New Mexico was. People don't even realize how beautiful New Mexico is. They just think it's like desert. So
Hmm.
when I was looking at places, I'm like, we need to get out of Houston and we need to go travel or visit a place. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to book Santa Fe. We both, Ed and I, we both agreed maybe this is where we want to go visit. So we went ahead and booked the trip. And once we got here, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So it worked itself out, and I ended up back up in the mountains. But you got to listen to those tugs, because those tugs can be the difference between life and death sometimes, and they can be really important. It's like all those people on 9/11 who didn't get on the plane, who didn't go to work that day. Like there were
Right.
subtle tugs there that were showing up to help guide you on a path that would best not only serve you, but also serve, you know, the consciousness as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm. Only the last is involuntary, which is and able to do, is involuntary because it is the application of miracles which must be Christ controlled. But the other two, which are the voluntary aspects of miracle mindedness, are up to you. To channelize does have a narrowing down connotation, though not in the sense of lack. The underlying state of mind or grace is a total commitment. Only the doing aspect involves channelizing. This is because doing is always specific. A channel must learn to do only what it is supposed to do. The prayer should therefore read, "If you will tell me what to do, only that I will do." That's interesting because it's bringing up channeling, which is it's bringing up the idea of channeling or channelizing, which is funny how she's referring to it as channelizing. That makes sense though, because source is this just unlimited consciousness, and when we come into physical form and physical bodies, we do have to kind of compress or force ourselves into these small units of existence or beingness. So of course, and this is actually something that Aja told me as well, my soul Aja, when I've channeled, that there has to be this like slowing down, and there has to be this like reduction of beingness to be able to even come through, because without that reduction, we aren't able to encompass the enormity of source. She's freezing on me. That's okay. I'll wait for her to come back on for a second. Hey Francis, I'm seeing your messages here. Yeah, I haven't heard back from you yet, so I'm when you have a chance to get back to me to see if there's anything else that I can do to help you with that. So since now I've gone ahead and put in the intent to try to see if I can do anything else with that. So she got cut off. she got cut off. So let me see if she can come back on here. She's probably got to go back in, or her battery died. That's what it is. Yeah, but Francis, I look forward to hearing from you to see if there's anything else that I can do to help you guys out. So let's see. I don't know if, and also I don't know if you got with Roxy, so we can get, because if there's more that we can dive into or more that we can dig into with the details, then we can set up a time so we can talk, and that way I can see if I can help you out even more. Yes, I just read that yesterday. I plan on emailing you back. Okay, cool, good. I was like, yeah, I hadn't heard back. I was like, oh, I guess, which I don't always expect people to email me back, but I just wanted to make sure that you got that, so that way we can set up a time to talk about it as well. Sorry, people are like, what's going on? Her mother is missing, and I've been helping with some of the details of that. So that's what we're talking about for those of you who are like, what's going on? I'm waiting for her to come back on here. So let's see if she pops back on. She probably lost her battery, probably died. You know what, Francis? Do you want to come on? Francis, do you want to come on for a second? I know like we were doing a study group, but I kind of want to talk to you or bring you on. We don't have to go into too much detail with your mom, but I kind of want to just have you talk to get people to know about your mom, to see if we can get more people to be aware in case someone knows something. Maybe they can also to connect with you. So if you're open to it, I want to bring you on just to kind of share the details about your mom, to see if we can get somebody, if anybody can have information that might, because there's enough people in Texas that, okay, so I'm gonna bring you on for a second. Let me see if I can find you on here. Hi, sweetheart. All right, sweetheart. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like pull you on, but I was like, this is an opportunity. It's a lot of people might see this, and even just to get the word out about your mom, like that would help. That might help or bring some attention to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We just did a YouTube live kind of video too recently, like talking about the whole situation and
kind of give the background info on everything. But yeah, my mother actually went missing in October of last year. So it's been a little over a year now. There was some weird things leading up to her disappearance. It's kind of hard to explain all in just one little wrapped up thing.
Don't tell me either, because I don't know yet. And that way, if I'm gonna do more, I don't want to be led. But yeah, but she disappeared. She went missing. And what are the important details that people need to know about to keep their eyes open if they know or anything or see anything? First of all, what is her name? And yeah.
Okay, so my name is Frances Rodriguez. I just actually got married in February, but my mother's name is Rosemary Rodriguez, weirdly enough. She went back to her maiden name after she got divorced. But she drives a bright green Chevy Sonic. Her license plate is GMC 3117. She has a OU sticker on her back windshield. It's kind of hard to misplace that kind of car. It's bright green, like neon green. She has a few tattoos on her. Sorry, my dog just.
No, you're fine.
Freaked out. She has a few tattoos on her her legs that would identify her on that live feed. There are more pictures and things. He's like he flashes through the pictures of what she looks like and things like that. What else did you want? Sorry. What did you
yeah. So where in Texas was this, and what was she last seen?
So we're from Longview, Texas. I'm actually currently living in West Texas with my husband. But she was last seen in Kilgore, Texas, leaving her boyfriend's house. So.
Got it. And so here, let me see if I can get a picture of your mom, because I want to show everybody so that they can kind of see her picture, because that might help also. Rodriguez. Missing. Okay, so this is her mom, guys, so that way y'all can see mama. So that's mom. And so that's one picture. I think there's another one here. Yeah, there we go. There we go, guys. So there's another picture as well of her also. But that's mom right there. So when did she go missing again?
October 6th was the last time anybody in my family had seen or spoken to her. They took my granny out to eat for her birthday, and then we got a message from a concerned coworker on the 8th saying that my mother hadn't showed up to work for 2 days. And that's when we went into the whole spill of, okay, like who's talked to her, what's going on, where is she? Couldn't find anything. So we reported her missing actually on October 8th. They have found her phone, but they cannot tell us where it's at, unfortunately, or where they found it, because I'm assuming it's been part of the investigation.
Got it.
So,
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think the reason why they don't always share details like that is because if someone is connected to her disappearance that is connected to y'all, if the information gets around, then that may start to give away too much, and then they may, kind of get, shoot themselves in the foot essentially with regards to that. So that's the reason why. How is it? Have you been dealing with the same detective or the same investigators on this one, or have they changed them up?
Yes, it's the same lead detective that's been on it since day one. And I think there's a question that says, what's her first name again? It's Rosemary. She went by Rose.
Yeah. So, so get back to me about what you can substantiate or what connected, and then we'll set up a time so that way we can talk more, and then we can dive a little bit deeper. So I'll talk more in private because there's stuff I need to say that I don't want to say in public. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. It's fine.
All right, sweet. You take care of yourself, and hopefully somebody, if someone sees this and they have any information, they can, reach out to you. And y'all can, if y'all can't reach out to her, guys, reach out to me, and then I'll pass the message on. So that way, if there's anything that can help with discovering or uncovering details about her disappearance, that we can get that to the right people who can help with this
That'd be
case.
awesome. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. Take care of yourself, okay?
Bye. Yes, I'll talk to you later.
Yes, we'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, let's see if I can bring Michelle back on. Sorry, that was an impromptu, but it was important, and I wanted to get her face out there because I want to make sure that people see her face so that if anybody can provide information. And for all of y'all, I don't see Michelle on here yet. For all of y'all, missing persons cases and missing person situations is not the level of distress and the level of pain and anguish and anxiety that the family, like, it's beyond most people's ability to cope and to deal with. And so I always tell people that they don't realize, you have these people who are like psychics and they want to, like, I want to be a missing person. It's like, no, because this is hardcore, like, real life